Today I'm going to be showing you how to use Capture for Schools alongside the Learning by Questions service. So the first thing I've done is I've logged in as a teacher on Capture for Schools, and you can see here that I've got the options of sending messages or observations and tasks. The first thing I need to do as well is I need to log into my Learning by Questions account. So I've logged into my Learning by Questions account, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a remote lesson session. So first of all, I'm going to pick the subject area. So for this particular subject area, I'm going to select maths. And then you can see at the top here in Learning by Questions, it gives me the year that the children are in. So I'm going to pick year 3 maths. And then what I can do is I can look through all of these different areas and I can find a subject. So we'll go into geometry, see if we've got some recognize and describe 3D shapes. So what this does is it brings up the actual lesson, and you can see here on the right hand side that these are the questions that they're going to ask, and then these are the correct answers. So I can go and look through the entire question set and make sure that I'm happy with everything that's in there. Now there's a couple of different things you can do here. One is you can plan this and add it to your calendar, and the other is you can start the question session, and the other is you can use the question session in a teacher mode. So what you can do here is there's a couple of really important things learning by questions and how the system works. You can actually create 3 lessons and have them running live at the same time, and then you can track all of the responses you get from the children. A lesson can be live for an entire day. So what you have to do when you set it as a plan is you go in the morning and you have to actually set the lessons to run live. Obviously teach would be if you're in a classroom environment, but at the moment most people will be working from home. So I'm happy that this is the session I'm going to do, and I'm going to click start. And it asks me what end time I want for my lesson. So I'm actually going to say I want it to go all the way up until the end of today, so 11:55. Okay. And I can give this task a label. So this is 3D shapes. Okay. And we will start. Now what you see now is that it produces a code. So it says enter your code, and it's DUF in this case. This is what you then can send to your students, and the students can then use the apps, the LBQ Tasks apps, or they can use the web player. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the URL, and I'm going to go back into Capture Education, and the way I'm going to do this one is I'm actually going to do it as a message. And the reason that I want to do this as a message is because I'm actually going to add a question to my message as well, so I can get some feedback from the parents. So in the to section, I'm going to select parents, and we're going to select year 3, and I'm going to select all of the children that are in year 3, and I'm then going to say what the subject is. So in this case the subject is going to be maths 3D shapes. Q and use the code. What was the code? DUF. Smith. Okay. Now what I want to do is I actually want to add a question to this. So I'm going to select add a question, and I'm going to give them a multiple choice, and I'm going to ask how much support did you need to give your child? No support, some support, and let's say full support. Okay, So now my question's been added. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this to the parents of these children that are in year 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in as the parent, so you can see how the parent would view this. So I go into family, and they will have had an email to tell them that there's a new message. Go into the inbox, that's the message. So I can pick who I'm going to respond this for, so as I've got 2 children in the class. So it says to go to this URL and enter that code. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in, and you can see that I've entered the code, and I'm going to click go. Now what it will do is it asks me for my name. Now we're going to do this as Tabitha, and go. So we've joined, and there's currently only 1 lesson for Mr. Campbell. Now obviously we could have created 3 lessons, but we've only got the 1 lesson, so we're going to pick 3D shapes. So which of these shapes are 3D? Okay, so let me just go and answer this question, and I've got that question correct. What's great about the learning by questions is that if you see here, we've got the question and I answer the question wrong. So let me answer it wrong. So say 1 face. It gives me a flat surface on a 3D shape. So okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let me try that again. So I click on retry, into 5, now I'm correct. And can you see up here on the numbers, I got the first one correct first time, the second one took me 2 goes, there's 2 dots. What I'm going to do now, this is as the child answering the questions. I'm now going to quickly jump back to learning by questions as the teacher. If I jump back to learn by questions as a teacher, you can see here that it shows me that pupil 1 has started, and they got the first question right completely, and the second question they got right after 2 attempts. Now at the moment it says pupil 1, but if I click on the question mark I can actually switch it so I can see the child's name. And what's great here is I actually don't need to be logged in. I can log out now as the teacher and come back to this at any point in the future, and it will show me the results. What I can then do is I can actually export the results as an Excel spreadsheet, and then I can use that in my tracking and my results data. What I can also see is from here I can see where children have got understanding and where they've actually got areas that we need to sort of firm up and do some more work, and I can actually send them responses and feedback on this. So let's just say that Tabitha has now completed the task. So she's finished this activity, and then as a parent I'm going to go back into here and I'm going to say that Tabitha did this, but she did it with some support, and then I'm going to send that back to the teacher, and that's gone back to the teacher. So now I'm going to jump back into the teacher's view, and I'm going to refresh this. I'm going to go into the question that I sent, and you can see here that it shows me who's responded to the multiple choice and which children got some support or no support or full support. So that's a simple way that you can use Capture to share learning by questions activities. Thanks for your time. For more support or to sign up for a free copy of Capture for Schools, simply go to our website, captureforschools.com.